Welcome back to the channel, guys and gals. So, as the last video, which it took a while to upload because the area that we were in, so it was actually done yesterday, which I called the, kind of like the exclusive workout, cardio workout to be exact. And after that, Scott gave Rogue some money because Rogue was out to help me do this. And one of the things we did before we left today is we went to, yeah, he got a bump on the noggin. Got a bump on the noggin. Nothing bad. He's still hyperactive as ever. So when we left the yard, we went by a Menards and we picked up something because it was his money and he can use his money however he wants. And what he picked up was this, the Menards Pennsylvania Boxcar. Now, why he likes Pennsylvania so much, I don't know, but he does. And I don't know where he gets it from, other than maybe his grandfather. His grandfather loved the Pennsylvania Railroad. And again, going back to some family history, we have a connection to the Pennsylvania Railroad. So one of the things I wanted to show was this one is a little bit different than the ones previously bought that my oldest son, Kyle, has, and some of the others that Rogue has, as he's steadily been a monkey. And what's so different about this one is, yes, the doors do still operate on this one, which is very cool. These are O-gauge O27.
It's the striping.
The striping and coloring on this thing's a little bit different.
And the ladders.
Yeah, and the ladders. On the previous ones, this striping and the lettering and everything was actually gold, and along with the ladders. This one's not. It's yellow, which I find kind of interesting. The numbering on it is actually a decal on the letter right there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, the kind of reflection right there. Kind of cool though. And the other thing that was really cool is this has actual springs in it. Let's try to see if I can get one of these to operate here. Oh no, it's molded in with actual springs in it. So if you look at that, that actually has springs in it right there. Now this is all a molded, cast-in piece, but it's got springs in it, which is really cool. It's got actual springs in it. Your other one didn't have that. Now, if I remember right, these walkways up here were a different color, if I remember right. I wish I had it here with me so we could do a comparison to them, but I don't have it here. It's actually at the house, so. But this is actually really cool because this is his car. He wants to run this with his Marks 999. So these are his cars, and he's adding on to his own little railroad. Of course, I got Lionel Fast Track, so he's using that. I got the big ZW. I've got the Lionel, and one of the things we're going to do before this summer's over with is all the boys will have an end of summer gift from me. Then we'll see what happens. I really want all the boys to have a common ground to sit back one day after I'm long gone from this world, and they go, Dad did this stuff for us, and they can sit down and run the layout together or whatever. We just kind of chill out and have a common ground and share memories and stuff. Because there will come a day when I'm not here anymore, and I want these boys to be able to have those memories.
You might have to super glue this because we're close. Well, there's one of the problems.
Yeah, from time to time, and one of the things that does happen with some of these mass-produced cars is like right here. Okay, this is a prime example over here on this end. Operates like it's supposed to, and it's clicking back. Over here, it's not. For whatever reason, this one end's not. There it goes. So yeah, I got it. It just had to rework this right here. It kind of slid back a little bit. So no big deal. That's fixed right there. And I mean, if it comes down to it, we can either super glue it or put a rubber band around it. Very nice. It's got some very nice molded in details. Nice color to it. Yeah, it's Peterbilt. Call it Bumblebee. The trucks, yeah, they're all right. They're a little bit loose. That can be fixed though. There is a video on how to fix that. It just requires taking the trucks apart and taking the shell off, and then you can do a press fit in there. We'll get into that sometime later on a different one. This piece right here is very interesting. The air tank right here has actually been changed. They used to be down further, and now they have actually put a cut mark in each side and bent them over and then put it on to give it clearance on the rails, which is really cool. Because on the previous models, they weren't like that. I do have a Grand Trunk, what they call a GT, also a Grand Trunk boxcar from Menards, and I couldn't bring myself to modifying that one, so I just kind of left it as it was, because the oldest boy does attend school in Michigan right now.
There's a red hand says no touchy.
As long as everything goes right over this next school year, he will have a year and a half free ride to Michigan State. So
Me?
I'm hoping that he will continue on with doing good, and will continue on with the schooling up there. So this boxcar is actually really interesting. It's a lot different than the originals that came out, that they originally said was limited. And so yeah, this is his. I mean, this is.
The one thing I want to do is paint this, the top and bottom gray, so to look more real.
Well, if you do something like that, that's actually a real color, because it would match with the boxcar. What you see is, when you see a gray or a black, is when they replaced them.
Can I make this gray blackish, because they when it close.
Kind of like a weathering effect.
Yeah.
Well, we can do something like that, but you'd probably see silver up in there. But I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
But one thing very hard one thing I would do but can't is make the rivets gray.
I just leave the rivets like they are, because that's how it would have been when it came out of the factory.
But I really want it.
So yeah, you can definitely tell he is into modifications, much like I am. This one says, "Do not bump," right there, the tag right there.
No touchy.
Capacity is 100,000. Load weight is 400,000 pounds. Lightweight is 57,000 pounds. That's actually real cool.
Same like pizza.
This one says IW Rot steel wheels, built 2024 by Menards. That is really cool to see that right there on the ends. That's kind of cool. I hadn't paid attention to that one. Come to think, my Grand Trunk don't even have that on there. Huh. Very, very interesting. Very, very cool on this car. So very, very cool. The other car that was picked up, which was the Frisco. Now the Frisco is definitely destined for something completely different. I'm not going to say what's going to happen, because you have to stick around for this one. This one could be over the next several weeks, because I do have to order something to make it work right. This one right here, again, has the air tank folded over. Very, very cool. Doors operate. I'm not a big fan of yellow, so that may give you a hint that there is going to be a repaint coming. along with something else. But there's a reason for that. A lot of y'all know that I do model the NDM and F&M Railroad out of Mexico. And, you know, those two railroads are very significant just due to the fact that we did sell a lot of product to Mexico, such as rail cars, passenger cars, locomotives. We sold it all to them. And if you go back further in their history, they're very proud of their Southern Pacific heritage. Southern Pacific was one of the biggest donators to the Mexican government to get the railroad started, and it kind of flourished. So there are a lot of history there that a lot of people don't know about. In fact, they still have a lot of steam engines on display. 484s. I understand there's a Hudson down there that's on display. You know, a lot of different stuff. And a lot of stuff was scrapped, but there are a lot of narrow gauge and standard gauge stuff was survived. There's not here in the States, so we count it as, oh, look, it's not really, it doesn't exist anymore. It does, just in another country. This one, the trucks on it are all molded. Everything on it, including the springs. Very, very cool. In fact, this one would be a generation, a completely different one. That means this one was an overstock. Because it's got the rod-on steel wheels, built 2019 by Menards. Don't know how well you can see that in there. So this one is a little bit different from that one. It just means that the Pennsylvania sells out a lot faster than some of these others do. Again, they're O gauge, O27, and they're almost scale length. So I mean, it is what it is. It's you know, for the money, you can't beat it. Okay, just like anything else in this world, anything can go defective, anything can be bad from the day it was bought. It doesn't matter whether it was Menards, Lionel, MTH, K-Line, Marks. And here's his little project he's working on.
Very heavy.
We got a very heavy piece.
This is a real stones on this.
Yeah, he found these stones and he's been working on that, wanting to build a lighthouse and do some scenery work. So I'm like, okay, you know. And he's gotten into doing scenery too. But yes, going back to this, very, very cool. It is destined for repaint. Another modification is going to be coming with this one. I'm not going to say what it is.
I know.
You're just going to have to stick around. Yeah, you know, and you don't say nothing yet.
Yeah.
I ain't telling you.
I know what it is, though.
Yeah, I know, but you can't tell them. They're going to have to come back and watch and see what we're going to do to it.
Springboard request.
No, I won't be saying that. You know. Huh? No, that's on one of the other ones. That's on one of the 1950, 60 wheels.
Oh.
Let's just say it this way. These wheels will go on the other boxcar with your name. So do you know what's going to happen yet? Nope. You're close. He's trying to... Y'all are about to come back to see what happens with this one.
Bye-bye.
Because this could be a very unique approach and would be almost prototypical to what I'm going to be doing. Something I've talked about once before. And who knows? Y'all might get a kick out of it. Some of y'all might go, you know, I've never looked at it that way. Well, let's just say that sometimes photographs will definitely tell you what's going on. And seeing the real life thing can also definitely give you a new insight to later stuff in life. We will get into that in a later video. Again, in the next couple of weeks, you will see a lot of changes with this one. And really, the only part that I have to buy is going to be somewhere below the boxcar. Kind of gives you an idea. But that would be the only thing that'll have to be bought, because I don't have any of those right now available. Then, of course, the paint, which the paint's readily available, very cheaply too. Just not so much the next part. But we're going to get into that later. As always, keep the shiny side up, rubber down. Come back to watch the follow-up video to see what happens with this car. And I'm pretty sure John Menards probably going to watch that video and go, what the hell, dude? We'll see. Again, take it easy. Keep the shiny side, rubber down. We will see y'all in the next video. We'll shoot for something for tomorrow or later today. Y'all take it easy.
What's that being real?